everybody, welcome on in. Today we are going to be doing an acrylic pour on these really cute pineapple signs that I found at the dollar store. As you can see, they're little metal signs and they're on a little wooden plank. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to clean them off with some 91% rubbing alcohol, just to make sure all that grease and grime is off of there and make sure that we have a really nice clean surface for our pour. As you can see, I got two of them, so I'm going to be making a set of these two metal signs. I'm trying to get the right consistency here. As you see, I think I add a little more water. Stir that green. We're using colors that are really reminiscent of pineapples for our pour. Now you see in the background that I did paint the pineapple, and at the end I did change it to all black in the back. This is the canvas we're going to be working on. They are 8x8 canvases that I got from Michael's. So I'm now layering all of the colors in our cup. We are going to be doing a ring pour, which you layer all the colors, and then when you pour it in a circular ring-like motion. The colors that I'm using are light green, dark green, gold, yellow, and like a teal, turquoisey color. These colors actually really worked well together, as you'll see in the pour. So again, you just layer them however you really feel like it. Sometimes I go in the same order. Sometimes I change the order up a little bit, depending on, like, maybe I'll have a little bit extra paint left in one color, so I need to use that color more than once or a couple times. Compared to other colors, you see that gold is like running out, but I might have a little extra yellow. So just kind of try to use up all the paint. And there's our cup. It looks so cool. I love looking at it when it's all ready to go. We're gonna pour right over that metal pineapple. And before we get started, I just want to show you, I get these thumbtacks off of Amazon. So I put one in each corner, and this is how I really raise my canvas up so that it drips off the canvas and there's a little space underneath it for the paint to drip off of. Good to go. Gotta have that glove. Gloves are important when it comes to this. It's very messy. So I'm just gonna hold it here. I apologize for this camera angle. When I did this first one, obviously I can see that the camera angle is a little bit obstructed with my hand, but the second painting you'll be able to see fully because I changed the camera angle for it. So I'm just doing circular motions slowly as I let the paint pour down onto the canvas. I only ended up using about half of what was in my cup because the goal is to cover the pineapple first and then use the rest of the paint to cover the canvas afterwards. So as you can see, I'm going really nice and slow here, trying to get as much of the design to stay. I love ring pours. They just look so cool. Looks like the rings of trees or something. I don't know. Or a geode, or trying to go to all the corners, getting that pineapple really covered good. I don't want so much paint to be left on the pineapple. I basically want it to be stretched out so that the pineapple won't have so much paint on it, but will be covered. So you can see the pineapple kind of raised up now. So I figured that was probably about the good time to kind of stop doing it. Of course, I stretched it out a little bit more to that one corner there but I was kind of running out of paint at this point. So in just a second, I decided to stop and take off the pineapple. I was kind of trying to work a little bit more on the composition of where the yellow was, but overall I was pretty happy with what I had for the pineapples. Now originally I said that I painted the backs. I actually painted the back of the pineapple like kind of pineapple colors. So I realized this when I had my gloves on that I would ruin that, but in the end I actually ended up painting over it anyways black. So I did decide to take off my gloves here and just be a little more careful with it, but I just ended up painting over it anyways, so. And voila, you have a gorgeous pineapple on a metal sign that I will now take the little wooden part before, and I'm gonna actually lean it against that so that it will dry flat. And now you see that there's a giant hole in my canvas where the pineapple was. So I'm gonna use the rest of my paint in here, basically, and pour over that, and we're gonna come up with a beautiful design for our canvas. Again, sorry about the camera angle here. The next pour will be much better with the camera angle. And this is also a learning experience for me because this is my first YouTube video of me doing a actual pour, so I will be much more aware of the camera angles in the future. So here I am, just kind of stretching it around. And that ring looks so cool with all these colors. Got a lot of paint on there, so I'm trying to work on the composition of it. Oh, there's a little bit of something in there. Make sure you check for any sort of things that get into your paint. And I have a bunch of tweezers on hand for that. It really helps if you look in the light and you can be able to see anything that isn't supposed to be there. Touch up the corners with my little fingers there. And I am pretty happy with that. It looks so cool. Look at that ring pour, you guys. Looks pretty awesome. Super happy with how that turned out. Super duper happy with how that turned out. And there's the pineapple. Look at it. Oh man, that's so cool. So cool. I love it. So I'm gonna let these dry. They usually take about 3 days to dry. I let my all my pours sit for about 3 days before I touch them. Now we're gonna move on to our other canvas, and it is ready to go. Even though there's some spots on it, it's okay because we're gonna cover that. Another stirring compilation. Oh, that's too thick. I add a little more water to that one. I use the same cup because I figured, you know, don't need to waste another cup, so just use the same cup. This one I kind of changed up the order a little bit of my paints. The last one I did a strict order. This one I kind of was a little more random with my order. And the camera angle is so much better here. Let's go. There, I was trying to show you the cup, but you can't really see. You can just see the top because I used the same cup for the both pours, but it's okay. Here we go. So I go very, very slowly here, and as you can see, I'm kind of pulsing the cup in a circular motion. So that's why it's called a ring pour, because you kind of do it in a circular ring-like motion. And I used about half of what was in my cup. I gave it a little torch this time to see if I could have any cells kind of pop up, but they didn't really pop up. It also helps, the torch helps to get rid of any air bubbles that you have as well. So this one's kind of, oops, there I made a mistake with the pineapple, kind of lifted up a little bit. But again, remember I painted the back of them black, so it really doesn't matter. And here we go, voila, the final product is right there, and it's so cool. I love the designs of these, you guys. I love the designs. And then I put it on that wood plank part again, and now I'm going to cover that giant hole with my extra paint that I have. This one's gonna come out a little more green than yellow. The first one came out with more yellow in it, but this one's gonna come out with more of the teal and green color. I love when you do a painting and you use the same colors and they can come out so completely different. This one's so cool because it's like kind of blurred a little bit, but then the middle is so very prominent. I think it looks really cool. And there's just little spurts of yellow thrown in there too. So this is what I do after I do a painting. There's a lot of extra paint that's dripped off on the sides. So what I do is I actually make jewelry out of the drippings. And these are called cabochons. They're little glass pieces that you can dip into your paint. And then you can attach them to a bale of some kind for jewelry. So what I'm gonna do is I have some golf tees. I found this technique somewhere. Someone showed me they use golf tees. So I have golf tees that I use. Oh, at first I'm gonna swipe this area. So I added all my extra paint. I'm gonna swipe it to get a really cool design. The design that's at the top I really like, but the bottom, I'm gonna swipe it. With my palette, I'm just going very, very gently over the top. Very gently. Trying to get some sort of cellular reaction or just some sort of really pretty kind of fading in and out of the colors. I did a little torch to see if I could get some cells. I did end up getting some micro cells in the little section of the blue towards the left side. So I use these golf tees, and what I do with the golf tees is I put on the end of them the putty like you use for sticking things on your walls. I'm a teacher, so I use that stuff a lot when I decorate my classroom. But what you're gonna do is you're gonna basically stick the cabochon to the golf tee, and then you're gonna find a spot in the paint that looks really interesting. And you're just gonna very lightly dip your cabochon in the paint, and then you're gonna bring it up nice and quickly so that the paint doesn't drip all over the front of the cabochon. Then I put it in this box, which I basically just stabbed holes in. This is my drying rack for my cabochons, and as you can see, I did 8 sets of necklaces and earrings out of this beautiful paint. Now I have a ton left. So I have this little canvas I got at the dollar store. And what I'm gonna do is I'm going to make a background for a future piece. So I'm going to just put it down, and then I'm gonna just push on it. And let's see what happens. You can do so much with your paint, you don't need to waste. That's why I love to use all my paint. And when this dries, I'm gonna pull up the drippings and I'm gonna save the drippings and probably make something out of those later. Wow, look at that. That is so cool. That would be a cool to have like a stencil on top, or some sort of a scene, maybe a forest scene, maybe like frogs or something. So I'm gonna go put this over here where I have everything else that's drying. And there are my final products. I have my little canvas there. I have my pineapples. They're all drying right now. And I do eventually end up painting the wooden planks black as well for those. Here are my canvases that I have that are drying. They're so gorgeous, you guys. I'm so excited. And I have all of that jewelry too. So here's what I did with the final product. Isn't it amazing? I painted the back black. I added the little aloha on the front. And these are the dried paintings. They are available on my Etsy store if you are interested. If you search Etsy JB Fluid Creations, you'll find my store. I'll also include the link in the description below. And these are just some of those dried cabochons that I plan on making jewelry out of later. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope that you enjoyed this video. Like and subscribe if you want to see more. Bye!